This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz, and I'm very excited to be speaking with Tim Mielants about small things like these. How are you, Tim?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Can you tell me what you knew about the book and about the entire history of, its general basis?
Not much. It's like me and Cillian. After Cillian saw my first feature, and we worked, of course, together in Peaky Blinders. It was his. We were looking for material. It was his wife waving with the book in front of us, and I read it, and I got like this. In Belgium, we get the kind of similar Catholic background story because, but I wasn't familiar with the Irish history as much. But I think what really resonated with me was a story of grief and how you can become a better person or a stronger person at the end of the process.
And what approach did you take, having read the book, to making sure that that was something different but still faithful on screen?
Yeah, for me personally, I always thought like grief is the engine of the movie. That's why that carries you through, and that was something I knew because I experienced a similar pain, and that's a theme that always comes back in what I do. So I was quite sure that I could make that work.
I think grief is a very powerful emotion, but it's also something that's very internal, and so it's hard to be able to externalize on screen. What did you do to make sure that that's something that audiences could deeply feel?
I think I have the feeling that a camera can grab your thoughts. So for me, it was more like structuring, like what is in this kind of post grief process that happens 20 years later. How can I make sure that that I at any time that I kind of knew what was happening in Killian's head. And that was always kind of different and a different pain and different emotion. So we gave like substance to the silence, and of course grief got different sections and different chapters and a certain structure, and we tried to follow that kind of process in the story. So that carried us through, and I think that's the I think the reason why these silences feel so layered.
Absolutely. And obviously, this is different tonally from something like Peaky Blinders, and Cillian is having such an amazing time now after his Oscar win. How has your working relationship with him evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think great. I think we just love working together. We inspire each other. We make each other better. I think it was also great to work with him on this movie in a producer capacity, like he was a producer on the movie. So what I did is like I showed him all my storyboards, what you do with the producer. I showed him all my ideas. I brought him to the locations I got, and we were spotting locations together, and I could in the room I could like explain what I wanted to do with the camera and everything. So we was like we were discussing that, and so actually we started really on the same page just when we start shooting the movie, and that's wonderful. That's amazing. That doesn't happen very often. A lot of times, an actor comes to the set and it's like, oh, I thought it would be different, but that wasn't the case here. That was great.
That's great. I also imagine that his visibility and popularity now will help bring additional eyes to this film that might otherwise not have had.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's hope so. Yeah, yeah. But I'm kind of introducing the film now in festivals in the States, and I feel like there's a deep reaction. Like people want to touch me, and people I never met before want to hug me. So that had never happened to me before. So I think people still resonate with the movie. Of course, Cillian is a big help, but I've got a strong feeling based on the reactions of people that there's also transcending a certain emotion.
I'm also curious about how it's playing in different places, because as you mentioned, there's, a particular Catholic Church history in Ireland, but also all throughout the world, given how big it is and a number of scandals, etc. Do you feel like you've gotten different responses based on where the film is played?
I think I feel like there's one thing in common, and it hasn't had to do with religion. I think when there's absolute power of an institution and you're not allowed to question it in any shape or form, then abuse is going to happen eventually. and that's something that a lot of people can resonate to. And also the idea, when you're silent, you are complicit. I think that's universal, and that comes across really. Yeah, that comes across.
Has anything anyone said to you at a screening really surprised you and caught you off guard?
um, no, not yet. Yeah, not yet. No, 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 no. Not that not something I can think of. No, no, so far, no. Let's cross fingers.
Do you think that there were any particular challenges to making this film as compared with your previous works?
Um, I think shifting tonalities. I think the scenes which is the Mario are slightly bigger than life. For me, it's like him entering is something is trauma and something and a pain he never wants to face. So we're entering a kind of subconscious world, which is give me a creative license to do something more almost spooky kind of thing, and being it grounded at the same time. That kind of mixture, that was for me the biggest challenge. But if you get an actress like Emily Watson, like a lot is possible.
I'd say you have a great cast here. You have some other people, like Claire Dunn, etc., that I feel like, maybe a lot more known within Ireland than they are in the rest of, the world. What is it like working with a big international cast like this?
Oh yeah, it's great. I think it's also great that they know each other really well. I think Eileen, who plays Cillian's wife, is also one that they know each other since they were 16 years old, 70 years old. So and they are friends still, and they and you see it like when they're next to each other, they you just feel you get everything for free. And we were able to talk about, because we're friends, I was able to talk about my own personal life and my own personal relationship, and use everything that you get in life, and be open about this. That's something you only can do with people you know really well, and I think that really helped in building the relationship on screen.
What's next for you?
Another movie I made with Cillian Murphy, Steve. So I'm in post for that, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah.
You give a preview of that tone. Is that more like Peaky Blinders or more like Small Things Like These, or
It's gonna
something
be
different?
something totally different, but more baroque and faster, and something, yeah, a totally different color.
Is there anything that you haven't done in your career that you feel like you really want to try sometime in the future?
Mm, ah, yes and no. I don't know. I think I need characters and story that I feel connected with, and then it can be sci-fi till period, whatever. It can be everything, but I think I need to understand what it is about.
I like that approach. Thank you so much for your time, Tim, and good luck with this project in your next one.
Great. Thanks for the interest. Thank you.